Habits are hard.
Yeah, sorry. Why is it so hard? And I think everyone can agree that anything with 8 steps is totally hard, right? I mean, how many times is like 3 easy steps and you will solve this problem? But no, Charlotte Mason's like, no, 8, actually.
Yeah.
8, yeah.
Well, it's almost 7, right?
Well,
This
almost
last
7
two.
plus a little bit. But yes, it's hard because I have come to terms with the fact that work is hard. I know it's profound.
Profound moments with Abby.
But habit training is work. And therefore, work is work.
Yeah.
And it is hard.
So step 1 is commit yourself to the time and energy required for the task. Do not begin until you are committed. So lots of us think we're committed and we think we're willing to commit the time and energy, but we forget that the holidays are coming up next week. Christmas is in 2 days, whatever. We just see the problem and we're like, I'm going to habit train this right now because I'm so irritated. We need to not do that. We need to make sure that we actually can commit the time and energy. It's not just willingness. It's practically like, can you? So if you're about to have a baby, about to have a giant move, right? About to have your husband change his job, like any major life change, holidays, vacation, I would say like, just wait, right? It's not forever. And it doesn't mean you can't deal with it at all. But formal habit training really does take the ability to commit real time and real energy to it. And so we want to set you up for success, which means we want to start with, is this even practical right now, right? We tend to assume that they've done the habit for 60 days and on day 61, it's just as hard as it was on day 1. And they've been trying so hard, so I should just give them a day off because look at all the work they've put in. But that's not actually how habits work, right? On day 61, it's easier than on day 1. So we don't want to undo that because we're actually not doing them any favors. So we don't allow the reversion, right? We're protecting the habit in that way. We're still keeping watch over it, right? So that for me, like the permit no reversion is really on the child's side. The guard the habit, and this isn't really something that Charlotte Mason says, but this is just something I've noticed in my own life, especially with little kids. Sometimes I have to guard the habit from outsiders, right? So I'm training my children like this, and then some relative comes to visit or some friend comes over, or we run into somebody somewhere or whatever. They don't know anything about the habit training that we've been going through and all this stuff, but when they get involved, they start undoing my teaching.
And when you do take what science has taught us about how habits are formed in the brain, right? Charlotte Mason said that habits form physical ruts, she said, and that's prove it in science.
Yeah.
Now we just call them neurological pathways, but the name might be different, but there's that concept that's been discovered.
Yes.
And you can take that information, the facts, and then apply it in a behaviorist way.
Sure.
And say, okay, I'm just going to give them cue, stimulus, or stimulus.
Cue, action, reward is one of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're just trying to manipulate behavior.
Sure.
Or you can take the reality of the way people and the universe works and remember and keep in mind the transcendental truth, the realities, the fundamental that, virtue is its own reward. That's actually true. So we're going to talk about still using that
framework,
motivation. Yeah, the framework, I'm going to have to open up my notes again. But there's a motivation.
Sure.
And then a cue or a trigger.
Yep.
And then an action. And then a reward. So a habit statement is a way of putting all those together because the act of writing and putting those thoughts together on paper forces you to recognize what you're really going for and resonate with it and review it. And so it makes it more sticky because you're really more committed to it. You're more clear. Yeah. Instead of it just being a vague idea that I want to have the habit of exercise.
When you have as you think through your days and your homes, what are the things that will make that are maybe small changes that would make a big difference, right? We don't need to overhaul everything, but we do need to be intentional and focused on the things that would really help us, make a smoother day. Maybe not smooth and easy all the day long, right? But a smoother morning or a better setup, right? One of my habits I want to work on is cleaning the dishes at night so that in the morning I don't have to do dishes first thing. So